Lobby Days is one of Fall's signature events. It's actually probably one of the longest standing annual events that we have. Started early in Fall's now 65-year history. To me, it's the one event that gives you a real visual picture of how much power and influence we can exercise when we all work together towards a good cause.
This has been one of their practices, that they continue to arrest. When I've talked to them about this, they've said, well, actually, we don't go through with any kind of charge, okay? It's essentially just a way to hold that child for at least 72 hours.
Robin Thompson has been working so hard to really stand up, stack, survive and thrive advocacy center.
If you find that there is an organization, whether it's animal rights, children's rights, legal rights, whatever, and you care about it, your voice means so much more when you're a member of an organization that agrees with you. You can help each other to get some change made quicker and better.
This is actually my first event. I'm a 1L at Stetson Law School, and when I found out that Fall had anti-trafficking legislation they were promoting, I really wanted to get involved. This is something I've always been passionate about, so this was a great opportunity.
It's a great organization and such a wonderful resource across the state. We have attorneys that practice in all different areas of the law. It's great for referrals, it's great for just questions, it's great for mentoring, because we also have lawyers from law students all the way up to retired attorneys in our organization, and they're all, the people that join Fall really do support women's issues, and they want to promote women in the profession. Especially as young attorneys, it's kind of intimidating to get out there in the law world and to have people that you can ask questions. It's great.
Hi, my name is Lori Berman. I'm a state representative from Central Palm Beach County, and I've been a lawyer for 30 years, and I've been a member of Fall for a very long time, so I know the organization really well. It's always wonderful when you have a group of women attorneys because they're educated, they're intelligent, and when they come up to Tallahassee to lobby, they know the issues and they're persuasive, and it always helps to have a woman if you want something to get done. I'm really happy that this year Fall is supporting 545, which also has to do with some criminal justice reform to work toward eliminating human trafficking and to make things better for the victims of human trafficking.
A child cannot be prosecuted for prostitution. So that's one of the things in the bill. Has some conforming changes in Florida Statute Chapter 39. And then it also does a number of other things. Right now, if you're prosecuted under the RICO statute, which many of the traffickers are prosecuted under, RICO is the racketeering statute basically that allows law enforcement to prosecute somebody based on a pattern of criminal activity, a racket essentially. It makes human trafficking a qualifying offense for first-degree murder. Does that. A lot of, unfortunately, prostitution rings are done under the guise of a massage parlor and a strip center and that kind of thing. And so property owners that know full well what's happening in those establishments will still nevertheless over and over rent to these folks to conduct these activities. And so it's increasing the penalties for knowingly renting to a massage parlor. It also increases the penalties for folks who, criminal penalties for who operate outwardly as a massage parlor, but it's really essentially a prostitution enterprise.
Human trafficking transcends those kind of more traditional, like what your parents and grandparents would recognize as modern day slavery. And it's been an education for me because, again, I had a sense that things were probably a lot worse than we thought, but they're pretty bad. And when you talk about, forms of economic coercion, it's a difficult venue to define exactly because, you have to make sure that you don't have such a broad definition that, somebody could say, well, an unfair labor contract now amounts to human trafficking. But so we have to make sure that we do it right. But there has to be that recognition that there's a very strong economic component to human trafficking.
This is a very important process to us as citizens in the state of Florida, to lawyers in general, because this is what we do. We promote and we uphold the legal system, and obviously legislation is a huge part of what we do because we have to read the statutes, we have to help our clients in any different way many different ways I should say, when those statutes are being applied either criminally or civilly or otherwise.
Uber is sort of an example of what governments are dealing with, not just in transportation, but in everything, right? So we have this thing called the internet, and it's brought a lot more transparency. And in Tallahassee in particular, you have a lot of interests that are sort of a protected, class, if you will, right? So a lot of these young legislators want to tear down sort of those barriers and have sort of a more open, transparent economy where you don't have industries that are protected via regulation or statute. So Uber, while Uber is certainly going to be discussed and whether we should preempt local governments and sort of get rid of the taxi industry is a big political issue, but bear in mind it's really not about Uber. It's about just about anything that's going on with regulation and sort of the new economy.
Almost every fall event or one of our chapter events, somebody in the audience comes up to me and says, I'm a judge, I'm on this committee, I'm doing this, and it's because of the support of people within Fawl at the chapter level and both at the state level. So it's really a chance to see how many people we have affected and impacted directly by being there and being supportive and getting words out.